What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, welcome in. What a crazy weekend, yeah? Especially for the boys trading crypto. So, welcome to the world of insider trading. We're just making hundreds of millions of dollars. Nobody cares, no investigations. It's great. It's amazing. We live in the greatest timeline known to mankind. What else could you possibly say? It could be three things, but the timing is very suspect. So I guess we'll jump right in, right? October 10th, the day people lost their shit. So Trump drops an absolute bomb, a nuke, and he says he's going to tariff China 100% on everything and complete embargo pretty much starting November. And this is because China slapped export restrictions on rare earth minerals. It's all the shit that goes into your phone, the military tech, pretty much everything. Basically telling America to go fuck itself on all those supply chains. So the same day, Trump, in his infinite wisdom, fires back and the markets fucking implode. Classic. So the S&P was down a couple percent in hours. Billions are evaporating and shit. People are freaking out. Amazon has lost over, I think, 100 billion in value. For them, it's pocket change, but that's fine. Nvidia got crushed for close to 200 billion. And big tech was bleeding everywhere because all these companies are completely addicted to Chinese manufacturing and all their materials. So the whole thing gets crazy here, though. And that's what everyone was talking about, where it turned into pretty much the most obvious form of insider trading, fucking straight scam that you could possibly see. So the crypto markets, of course, it's highly speculative. They get absolutely annihilated. And we're talking about, I think it was almost 20 billion in liquidations, which is probably the single, I think it was by 9 times too, the single day wipe, the largest in history. And over 1.5 million of traders just gone completely. They disappeared. Bitcoin dropped something like 20,000 points and painted a giant red dildo, a candle that went down from like 120 to like 102 or something like, depending on the exchange used. And then fucking Ethereum shorts in the hundreds of millions. And altcoins already losing 60 to 70% in hours, just hours this happened, off of a tweet. So retail bros got liquidated left and right. People who even had, all you had to have really is just like 2x leverage as well, getting murdered. Their positions got closed, all their money's gone. But who's on the other side making an absolute killing? Right? You had anonymous whales opening up massive short positions 30 minutes to an hour before Trump's announcement. I even read that some shorts were opened up minutes prior to the announcement. Minutes. Who has that kind of access, right? Think about that for a second here. So fresh accounts are depositing billions into stable coins right before the crash, and then immediately shorts Bitcoin. They're shorting Ethereum, XRP, everything. And within 2 hours, they're closing at the absolute bottom with profits of almost 200 million, 160 million, close to 90 million. There's multiple profits here. One whale opens over 1 billion in shorts on Bitcoin and Ethereum right before Trump speaks and makes like fucking, I don't even know how many millions of dollars. Another account created just before this, fresh accounts, before this whole thing, shorts hundreds of millions 30 minutes before the announcement, then closes at the absolute bottom for close to 200 million in profit. Huh? That's not luck, bro. You're not the world's greatest trader. This isn't someone who's got like absolute exquisite timing. This is somebody who knew exactly what Trump was announcing and exactly when. So they positioned themselves to make a fortune while everyone else got slaughtered. You don't deposit $1 billion into stable coins and open shorts minutes before a major announcement unless you know what's coming. And that's the question, is who? Who had all this fucking information? Who was that? Who was in the room? Who knew the timing? Now, there's no smoking gun tying this to Trump directly, and I've seen people say this was Barron and all this other stuff, and he's made 80 million, and or to Trump's family directly. The wallets are anonymous, they're offshore accounts, they're untraceable through normal means. But come on, dude, the pattern is right there in your face. Somebody with access to market-moving information used it to make hundreds of millions, if not more. And Trump's son, Eric, was hyping crypto investment just a couple of weeks ago, before all of this fucking shit just happened, talking about Q4 being the time to get in. And then boom, massive wipeout liquidates retail while the whales shorted their way to generational wealth. Excuse me? Is that a coincidence? Maybe. But we've seen this movie before. With political elites especially. So Pelosi's a great example. Everybody knows about her. She's the greatest trader to ever live. She beats all of Wall Street. She makes perfectly timed semiconductor trades right before legislation pumps those stocks. And insiders are always buying and selling at exactly the right moment. And Congress is allowed to insider trade. And when you ask questions, they'll call you crazy. They'll tell you the markets are just volatile, bro. Hey, time the market better. You just suck at trading. Except on this one, there was liquidations everywhere. And retail traders lost everything. And all the anonymous accounts are the ones making these fortunes in 2 hours. And nobody's investigating this shit? Like, no, nobody. The SEC isn't launching probes. The FBI is not tracking wallets. There's no media buzz about this. They're just covering it as normal market chaos. Oh yeah, shit goes up, shit goes down. Trump tweeted. Why? Nobody's asking? Well, because if you pull the thread, you might find some connections leading right back to the inner circle, or to Wall Street firms with political access, or elite networks operating above the law. Which one is it? So now for the tariff themselves, let's get to that part real quick. And this is where it gets interesting, because you got to look at what's actually happening versus what might be corruption riding alongside of it, if you could say that. Maybe there was an opportunist here. So Trump slaps massive tariffs on Chinese imports. That's absolutely the right move. Of course, we should have done this a long time ago. That's America first economics in that sense. China's been playing us for decades with all this predatory trade. They've been flooding the markets with their subsidized fucking goods, and that destroys American manufacturing back home. They steal IP. They do have a mass control on rare earth metals, and those are critical for the military tech and, you know, using that leverage to essentially fuck with us. That's what they were trying to do. So China's rare earth export restrictions are economic warfare in a sense, and they're trying to cripple our supply chains and make us dependent on them for defense materials. So Trump's response is normal. It's exactly what you'd expect from someone who actually wants to protect American interests. He tariffs the shit out of them, so high that it forces companies to move supply chains out of China, reshore manufacturing, and cut the dependency on hostile foreign powers. This is protecting America. So the conservative outlets, when you looked at the news, I saw both. The conservatives got this right. It's they call it a tariff trap. You force China to devalue their currency, which actually gives U.S. importers discounts. And then you pressure them to negotiate because, think about it, we have to bring jobs back, even if it means short-term pain. This is for the betterment of the country. And then the lefty media is losing their fucking minds. They can never give them a win anyway. So CNN is screaming recession, and the New York Times is talking about empty shelves and higher prices, and they're calling it economic sabotage. You know, and the farmers did get crushed by the soy retaliation from China. That's true. But while there is truth to that kind of shit, they do raise, at least the tariffs do raise prices in the short term, fine. And the supply chains get disrupted. Yes, the farmers, the soy farmers specifically got screwed when China retaliates by not buying a single fucking soybean from our agricultural exports have suffered. You know, but the alternative is you keep depending and you keep letting China hollow out the manufacturing in the United States. And that causes us to be dependent on them for this, all these critical materials. And then we keep running massive trade deficits that enriches Beijing while the American workers are losing jobs, right? So long term, this is right. Even if it hurts now, this is something we have to go through. The markets will crash. Even if big tech loses hundreds of billions because they built everything on Chinese labor and material. Who cares? That's the globalist problem. That's their decades of free trade deals where American companies completely are dependent on foreign production, not the problem of the average American. They shipped those jobs overseas, they destroyed communities, and now, when you try to reverse it, it's painful because, yeah, the whole system got restructured around offshoring, okay? Not the problem with the average American. Shouldn't have fucking done that in the first place. Regardless, what makes this wild and gets everybody wondering is what the fuck is actually going on? Is it, could it be that Trump's tariff announcement was genuinely about protecting American interests from Chinese aggression? How did somebody with advanced knowledge use it to make hundreds of millions shorting crypto with perfect timing, no less? They positioned themselves 30 minutes, if not less. How? You got trading patterns that are just screaming foreknowledge. These are fresh accounts, dude. This is so fucking weird. And depositing billions, no less, with that kind of confidence right before the crash. And to short it, no less, not even long. Short. You deposit to short the market? That's weird. Minutes before a public announcement. There can only be one of three possible explanations. So one of them is either someone in Trump's circle leaked it, or Wall Street firms with political connections had some advance notice somehow. Or maybe there's a third angle here, and that could be plausible, but I believe less so than the others. You never know in this world. We're in the Wild West. Some Chinese national with connections to Beijing, knew that the tariff discussions were happening and knew exactly how hard Trump was going to go and positioned to profit off of the chaos that they knew was coming. They knew the talks were breaking down somehow. Think about it. If you're a Chinese official or a businessman with access to those high-level discussions about, say, the rare earth restrictions, you know Trump's going to respond really hard. You know the timing, right? You could easily have set up some offshore accounts, deposit some fucking crypto exchanges, right? Short the entire market before he announces, and you make hundreds of millions while also helping crash American markets as a bonus. Fuck you. That could be possible. That's economic warfare combined with some personal enrichment, and that it fits the pattern perfectly there. Anonymous wallets, offshore accounts, perfect timing. Nobody can fucking trace it back because crypto is designed for that kind of anonymity, and you can wash that money actually pretty easy unless you get the FEC or the SEC, and the feds involved, the FBI, to actually track every single penny and ask the exchanges. And even those CEX exchanges, it's really hard. If you wanted to wash it, you could. Right? And if it's offshore, it gets even more difficult. So Trump's also done this tariff dance before, by the way. The pattern's already been established. You announce something dramatic, the markets fucking tank, and then you delay implementation or you negotiate some form of exemption, the market fucking rockets back. This has already happened. He's already threatened tariffs, then backed off. After 90 days, he gave companies time to adjust. You remember? And if you know that kind of playbook or the pattern, if you know that this is how he kind of operates and that he might not follow through on the November deadline, you could make an absolute fortune timing both the crash and the bounce. Could be possible. And this is, again, think about it like this. It's fucking insane. By Sunday afternoon, the whole thing starts diffusing exactly like the playbook says it should, right? China comes out late Saturday and clarifies that the rare earth thing wasn't actually a full ban. It's targeted regulations with approvals for compliant applications. Basically, they're emphasizing limited impact and a desire for global supply chain stability. Walking it back, right? Saving face is what you could call it. Then Trump posts on Sunday, don't worry about China. It'll all be fine. And he says like Z was having a fucking bad moment, something like that. Are you kidding me? And then JD Vance, he was jumping in, talking about the friendship between the leaders, how Trump's willing to negotiate without needing leverage. And suddenly the fucking full-scale trade war everyone was panicking about, it's like evaporating before everyone's eyes. The market starts rebounding. Ethereum was up like 11% back to 4,000. All the analysts are now saying Like the odds of November tariffs happening are somewhere under like 10%, practically zero. Classic tariff trap. You threaten something massive, markets crash, you shake out all the weak hands and all the over leveraged positions. China blinks, then they walk back their fucking restrictions, and Trump declares victory without actually implementing the tariffs. Markets straight V shape up with the recovery, and everyone who knew the playbook makes a fucking fortune on both sides of the trade. That's how the elite game works. Are you starting to see this shit? The retail sees the headlines, they panic hard as fuck, weak ass paper hand it, they get liquidated, they lose everything, while the insiders who know what Trump was doing, or the exact same dance, the playbook, they know how China's always backing off, right? When the threats get hard enough, and then they know the tariffs probably won't happen anyway based on the past. So boom, you're positioned to profit on the crash and the recovery. You just have to know that the announcement was being made. Who could have been in the room? Who had access to those high-level talks? So the people that put savings into Bitcoin as an inflation hedge, maybe used a little bit of leverage here to make a bigger gain, they found out in one day it's all gone, dude. The market is still deregulated. It's still a wild west. And it crashed way harder than they were expecting. Nobody saw a 20K fucking point swing downwards. This is the life of crypto. Big gains, big losses. Everybody knows that. It shit pisses people off because some anonymous whale all of a sudden is fucking closing short positions for massive profit after 2 hours. 2 fucking hours? Because they knew exactly what was coming and when. And now they're probably gone, long gone. They're probably actually not only long gone with the money, they're ballsy enough to probably go long on the recovery because they know how the playbook ends. With new all-time highs once a deal gets announced. Imagine what the headlines will be. Deal is announced. The shorts timing, the profit scale, the foreknowledge pattern, the perfect execution, the world's greatest trader on both the crash and knowing when to flip near the bottom. Dude, this is corruption. And it's playing out in real time. And whether it's the tariff trap being the plan all along or just some opportunists who figure out the playbook, someone is fucking getting filthy rich off information asymmetry me and you don't have. So, yes, the situation with the rare earth shit, that's real. China controls like 70% of the market, 80% of global production. They have a monopoly on this shit. And they can cripple our tech. They really could, and our defense whenever they fucking feel like it. So Trump using the tariff threats to force them back down and reopen negotiations, it makes perfect strategic sense. But when you see over $1 billion in shorts from some fucking whale right before the announcement with fresh accounts, no less, guys, think about that. With perfect timing. And then the whole situation diffusing exactly according to the playbook right after, within 48 hours, you have to wonder if this was orchestrated chaos or some people knew the fucking script and most people didn't. Like, which is it? Big tech lost those hundreds of billions. They are recovering most of it already. Irrelevant. It's the volatility that benefits everybody. Well, I should say benefits almost nobody but those at the top with insider knowledge, right? For the rest of us, this is a distraction. We're just reading the headlines and going like, oh my God, look what happened. Crypto crashed. Fuck. Ted, I was leveraged 8x on my offshore account. I was on my VPN. Fuck, dude, the wife's going to kill me. I lost my savings. It's funny and it also isn't. Like this is the world we live in. Do you remember? Trump has the Trump coin, the Liberty coin. Then he had the Melania coin, Melania, whatever. Our president pushed pump and dump coins. He literally enriched himself already with pump and dumps. It's not looking good. It really isn't. Okay? Then you got these fucking crypto traders, dude. 87% of the liquidations were people who were long. They got obliterated while some anonymous accounts made hundreds of millions shorting. You think that's not going to piss you off? People aren't going to have questions? That's not suspicious? The perfect timing? 30 minutes or less? Nobody. Where are the fucking police? Where's this state? The feds? Where are the fucking investigations? Are the exchanges going to help track the money and tell you which whale, where the accounts are going? Of course not. And then they're probably, that's like the part that hurts the most, is they're probably already long. I haven't been keeping in touch with people doing like some on-chain analysis and what's going on. They're probably already, they longed the bottom probably and made extra money. That's what's crazy, because it's a real justification. The rare earth tariff, the response, it's justified. It makes strategic sense. And China backed down exactly like you would think based on the historical precedent set with Trump. But the trading patterns are fucking wild, dude, you have to admit. Right? Was this planned? Are someone really this lucky? Someone knew something and made a fucking fortune, and everybody else got wrecked. Fucking wrecked, dude. What's that website in crypto that shows you like ding, 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 ding? I bet you it was going off that day. It's like some wrecked counter. It just shows people getting liquidated. Right? No investigations, you guys. If this were 20 years ago, this would be getting investigated, but it's not, dude. It's just crypto. That's the Wild West. There's nothing. There's no regulatory safety. Nothing. It's complete Wild West. Anything goes. Market manipulation. No investors. None of this is illegal. None of this is illegal. Okay? I think we're starting to realize that we're in the political Wild West as well. That's what makes this shit crazy. So, I mean, that's the story I got for you guys today. We're going to do some reaction. I just wanted to cover it because I'm a day trader myself and was deep into crypto. And, you know, I already got out actually this year, January. And just watching this blew me away. I probably, if I had a trade open, that 20K swing would have damn near wiped me out. So I could only imagine. I saw another guy post on TikTok. Not TikTok, sorry, on X. He had $15 million account. He traded his way up to 15 million. He lost $10.5 million. He had $5 million left, and he was trying to like cope and pat himself on the back. You know, everybody's got rough days, and it's days like this I want to throw up. My stomach, my heart dropped to my stomach. I don't know what I can do about this, but I'm just going to keep trucking forward. You lost fuck you money. $10 million down. Dude, people are having a rough time. Imagine you had your life savings believing in this shit, and you had a little bit of leverage to make some extra money, and you got burned to a crisp. So, and I have one here. I left my phone on just to check this. There's a Ukrainian multimillionaire who took his life yesterday. He owned luxury cars that were worth in millions. But why did he take his life? That the post says. He took investors' money worth $30 million. He took max leverage and lost all 30 mil in a few seconds. What? He knew he wouldn't be able to make the money back, and he couldn't handle the pressure of the investors. Probably were going to kill his ass. What did we learn from his demise? And it's got pictures of him. He's doing like what looks like TED Talk. He's got Lamborghinis, and then there's police photos of presumably where they found his ass. It says, never invest more than you're willing to lose. Never take people's money and promise them returns. Never do futures trading. Stay low key. Imagine that, dude. You burned 30 mils in seconds with leverage. How levered up was he? Who knows? He's probably a maniac. Imagine being 50x, 100x. I don't think you can 100x at 30 mil. Maybe you can. I don't know what the limit is on the exchanges. But let's just say you were up 10, 20x. Boy, oh boy. That's all it takes. That 20K swing on a 20x leverage would have wiped your ass. So there you have it. What kind of world are we living in? Our leaders are becoming rich. Crypto is the new way to launder money and insider trade, and there's no legal ramifications against it. Gold is at a new all-time high. Silver is fucking cruising on upward. Gold and silver are ripping today. That's not great. There's no investor confidence here. Where gold is pushing up on like 4,200 an ounce, guys. That's the market speaking. We don't trust the dollar. We don't trust these economies. Assets are a little bit risky. The market's overheated. Where's your safe haven? Gold. Silver is now on a roar. Where does it end? Boy, oh boy. Let's get into some super chats.
Brandon Robinson $20. Bo. Several friends and I were watching our crypto during that historic flash crash. However, all exchanges paused everyone from being able to buy the
Wow.
dip. This is not the first time that this has happened.
Of course. I hate exchanges. Name the exchanges that do that. The exchanges that do that are absolutely shit. I remember the Robinhood fiasco too, where I can't remember what stock was that was crashing. GameStop. I believe it was GameStop and something else. And people were not allowed to sell or buy. They were limiting people. That's such bullshit. Yeah, Robinhood is the worst exchange you could possibly use. Garbage.
IVENT $4.99. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really trust any politicians. Almost every statement needs like 3 motives in my mind before it starts making sense.
Yeah.
IVENT $19.99. Bro. The insiders are so far inside. You mean to tell me crypto brothers with years of knowledge and experience got out-traded by accounts less than 12 hours old? They got fried, dog. 90% longs getting vaporized? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This was, I think, 9 times worse than the worst liquidation event in previous crypto history. So that's like the absolute massive size of what the hell is going on here. It's crazy to think about, you guys. Yeah. So it's nice that our politicians are insider trading openly and they're getting absolutely rich while we're struggling. Was Coinbase down again during all this? Oh my Lord, dude. Of course. Of course. Don't you love it when exchanges that say they have a 99.99 rate of being online somehow always crash when it's like, God, get me in the fucking market right now. I need to buy, dude. You're just staring at a 19K red dildo on the screen and you got the fucking timing you're right there. You can hit the buy button. Sorry, error, unexpected error, order position not filled, error. Fuck you, you pieces of shit. They do that on purpose. It's just so crazy. I hate crypto exchanges, dude, with a passion. God, you have to be positioned perfectly. So stupid. Error, unexpected error. Order not filled. You fucker. And there's guys just making millions. So stupid. Don't put your money in any exchanges that do that shit. That's crazy. All right, we'll jump into a couple of these. Happy rip to the bros that lost some heavy change, dude. I know. Listen to me. I know what it feels. Listen, I used to day trade crypto, guys. I got in 2017, right? 2017 was the first bull run where people were really like, they knew what the fuck it was about crypto. I was making $1,000 a day trading on top of the money that you were making from the bull market. I got into Bitcoin at $950 and Ethereum was at $34. That's when I first got into crypto. And I was trading heavy in the paint, killing it. How could you not? How could you not make money in the bull market? Just fucking long, bro. 5x, 10x, 20x like a machine. And I even bought some ICOs. That was back when Ethereum was launching all those ICOs. I bought I can't even remember what this stupid fucking ICO was. It's called something like something with an S. I don't know, whatever. That shit. I bought something like $20,000 worth of that and it turned into $250,000. Anyways, I made a killing. I got out near the highs, not at the absolute peak. And then I stayed out until the next bull run started and I started the same shit again. And I was always doing leverage trading, always. Yeah, ICOs. I remember that. Initial coin offerings is what they were called. And I got in early on some of those. So that was the 2017 bull run. Absolutely crushed it. But I remember back when Elon was investing in Bitcoin, like Tesla was actively buying that shit. And dude, I would wake up. I remember I had a long open and I woke up and I was up 30 G's. Do you know what an amazing day it is? How great it feels to just like, oh yeah, just let me just open a long real quick, no problem. And then you wake up and like, oh, I'm up 30 racks. Oh shit, I'm up 45 racks a few hours later. Okay, let me just close this position. And the feeling is the same, bro. You put in a trade, all of a sudden you open that shit. I'm fucking shorting tomorrow. I know it's a horrible. I know that this is the peak. I'm gonna short this. I'm gonna short this. The market's exhausted. We're gonna have a little pullback here, and then it just keeps ripping. And now I'm down 45K. I'm down 70K. You win some, you lose some. It's like a wild fucking ride. That's what makes trading addictive. You can get good. I was doing really well. I started with 19,000 and some change, maybe less. And in 6 months, I blew an account up to 180 and some change. And that's when I did the Spartan Challenge video for you guys around that time. And I was just showing people, I had like the spell book. I always show it in the Spartan Challenge video. I have a spell book with all my day trades and like all this knowledge and market assessment and sentiment and analysis and all this shit. And, if people remember the spell book, that's where all my trades were. And every page had 10 trades, with like insane amount of detail in there. And I would have like 7 checks to 3 X's. So I had a great run, a great trading spree. And I just used the knowledge I had over the years because I started day trading in stocks in 08-09 crash. I sold my Audi in high school for $5,000 when I graduated. And I started trading and I bought Citigroup when they were actively in talks about bankruptcy. And then some billionaire came and helped bail them out. Chapter whatever. And the stock blew up. I think I bought it at 90 something cents. And I sold for about $1.21 and I was levered up with the 5Gs. And I made 5Gs. And I thought my life's gonna change. I'm about to be a multi-millionaire. I'm gonna be on yachts with hoes and I'm a helicopter pad at my house is insane. Imagine you're fresh out of high school and you made 5 racks. You're working a part-time job at fucking, what is this auto store? I can't remember what it's called. It's like an AutoZone, basically. Some AutoZone knockoff. And I think my check every 2 weeks was maybe $250, if that. Broke as fuck. I make 5Gs, dude, in hours. So yeah. Anyways, that was a little backstory of how I got started in day trading. So I used all that information over the years. I was day trading Forex, a bunch of other stuff, options, all that. And so I made a killing when the crypto stuff started. Yeah. I know the feeling, boys. It's tough for some of the dudes that was their life savings. And one tweet can destroy you. That's another reason I got out of the market also in January, and I thought about hopping back in and all that stuff. It's just I don't like a market that's hard to read because motherfucking Trump, one tweet can send the market roaring up or down. And there's no fundamentals to trade off of there. There's insider knowledge only, just like today. This is the perfect example. The only way to trade consistently in a market like this is insider information. I was showing the guys in the private community, I was using AI to trade earlier this year in January before I stopped, back in December, November. And I doubled an account from 20 to 40 real quick and got it up to like 70. And I was using AI. I was going to give the guys a prompt in the private community that I was using. And I would feed the charts to the AI and have it spit out like 3 trades that it would do in a certain amount of time frame with like I guess you could call it like a percentage of confidence. And I would put in all those trades and I was winning a lot. And it was basically confirming my sentiment, and it keeps you sharp in a robotic sense, like non-emotional in trading. But yeah, I got out of the market because it takes some nuance also, and you can't actually foresee these kinds of things happening unless you're in Trump's inner circle, or you understand whatever tariff deal that's absolutely deteriorating behind the scenes, and then you could make a quick play to just make buku money, dude. Like, who knew Trump's stupid coin would come out? They bought that coin immediately and they made like fucking generational wealth done. Millennia coin, generational wealth. And then you dump on the normies that buy after the headlines. That's lit. We're in a fucking, it's an insane market. It's not easy to trade this market. Anybody that's doing good here, good job to you. Yeah. I'm not on Nancy Pelosi's level by any means. And it does take a lot of time to do it consistently and effectively. I don't want to stare at, literally I'd be staring at my phone every day, eating, staring at my phone, reading information, refreshing pages nonstop. Trades open, can't sleep, checking the trades. It's addicting, dude. It really is. You have to be careful. If you don't have some discipline, you'll get lost in the sauce real quick. So, okay, here's this guy. What's his name? Let's get into this one. We got Preston here. He said he's 26 years old, bro. His life sucks. Let's get into it.
I have not been having a great week. And it's a lot of things. You know, I've been busy. Haven't been able to make a YouTube video like how I would want in a very long time. I've been busy with I'm in a physical therapist assistant program, so I've been busy with that. And I'm crashing out. You know, I'm having some issues financially, issues with, I don't know, relationship as well. Relationships are hard. There's going to be problems. It's been a rough week. That's all I really want to say. And in having this rough week, I was also thinking about nowadays, you know, this week, a lot of things have happened this week. And I've had a friend of ours in our program who ended up quitting and leaving the program because he decided that being a PTA is not what he wanted to do. And good for him, you know. And for, you know, going for what he feels like he wants to do with his life. This is going to be about life in general and how I feel like it's getting more and more difficult to just live in general, especially in California, especially in America.
Oh, bro, you're in California, dog.
And maybe even all across the world. And here's the thing. I love living in California. I love where I'm at. But holy shit, it's hard to even be alive. You know? I joined the military when I was 18 years old I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I wanted to use it as a stepping stone for a better path, for a better future. And that's what I'm doing right now. And even with all of that, I can, after passing this program, after finishing what I need to do, graduating with, I graduate next year. Even after all of that, and let's say I make, I don't know, 35 an hour starting, or maybe it's probably lower than that. I'll probably make like 30 somewhere as a fresh graduate. Even after all of that, it's hard to survive. So you're saying I went to the military, I did all of this.
It's crazy.
To have a better life. Yeah, my life is good. I'll be honest. A lot of people have it a lot worse than me. I'm grateful for the experience that I have. And yet I still can barely survive and live comfortably. That's fucking crazy. Like, I worked for Amazon as an Amazon delivery driver for a little bit, just so I could have a little bit of extra cash in the summer about a year ago. And we made about $20.50 an hour. I was working a lot, and my paychecks were pretty big, but that's because I was working so much. The job sucked. $20.50 an hour? Ain't no way you're living nicely like with that. Ain't no way. And I knew some people who were there for 2-5 years. I remember one of the leaders, the managers, was like, "Oh yeah, dude, working this job, you never need to go to the gym again." In my head, I'm like, I love the gym. I'm not about to substitute being an Amazon delivery driver for working out. You got me, like, get out of here, okay? That ain't gonna happen. I'm going to the gym.
Slaving away, dude.
He said that, you know, it was his truth. The man didn't work out or whatever, that's fine. Those guys, those people that have been working there for 5+ years, respect to them. It's a hard job, but you're not going anywhere, and you're not living comfortably.
No shit.
Comfortably, that's a fact. With on 20 an hour, but for me, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to quit. I used it temporarily, and I did whatever. There's a cop coming, so I need to take a pause for a second. Okay, so the main point was that a lot of jobs nowadays, they don't pay shit. They don't give you. It's not enough. It's not enough. Everyone is struggling. I know so many people my age who still live with their parents, who don't even live on their own.
And they still bring in immigrants. We still need H-1B visas. We still need, even at the bottom, low-skilled labor migrants. We still need, oh my God, dude, Americans won't do these jobs. Or if Americans want to do these jobs, Americans aren't trained enough to do it. They don't have the specialization needed, the expertise. So we're gonna bring in more Chinese and Indians. Isn't that fucked up?
Maybe some of them do, but hardly any. Because how could you? Literally, how could you do that? And what is going on here? Sorry, I'm trying not to die. This lady just did a hour. You can't. Okay? And that's sad, honestly. That is the norm. That these jobs are flexing. Oh my God, we pay higher than minimum wage. You gotta living nowadays. Sorry, I need to fix the camera. Living in general is tough. And I'm crashing out. I'm having a stressful week. Things are not going my way. This is not how I thought this week would go.
This is not what I expected my life to be.
Things will get better.
No, maybe they won't.
It's hard. It's hard out here. I've got friends and family that work 2 jobs to try to support themselves. They're stressed out. No wonder no one has time nowadays with these jobs paying $20, $25 an hour. You gotta to the point where you gotta work 2 jobs to survive. No one has time. Everyone's gaining weight. Everybody's complaining. You got these construction workers out here in 100-degree heat holding a sign, and he probably doesn't even get paid that much. But respect to him because it's a hard job.
The sign dude probably makes 18 an hour.
And the point of this video, I don't have a solution, guys. I don't have a solution. I'm playing the game with.
You just got to do what you can. Bro, nobody's got a solution. If you read the comments, they're probably insane. Watch. Okay. Come on, bro. I wonder why people aren't having kids anymore. I'm turning 24 in October. Dad got cancer. Mom was on disability, not getting money anymore. Broke my ankle, cut my shin open. The same work here. Now I got to feed a family of 5 on $25 an hour. At least you still got your hairline, bro. Keep pushing, keep grinding. Hey, that's a great attitude to have. At least you still got your hairline. I'm 54. It doesn't get any better. The majority of Americans have nothing but work to look forward to. 52 here. Don't waste a single day in your 20s not taking risk and simply going through the motions. Shit. Look at these people. Jeez, bro. Just getting out of bed to start your day at a job that is emotionally, mentally, and physically draining is enough. Oh my Lord. My house caught on fire. I lost all my clothes and most of my valuables. Fuck. I'm 30. Life sucks. Jeez, I appreciate this video. I'm 25. No job. Living with parents. Feeling inadequate. Hoping that when I start as a paralegal or a paralegal program this coming semester, bro, paralegal, dog, in the world of AI, I'm sorry, pimp daddy, but it's not going to be good for you either. You said what a lot of us are scared to admit. I'm 27 with a receding hairline. My guy led with that, not broke with no car. priorities. He's 27. Biggest issue, receding hairline, dog. Fuck the car and being broke. Okay. It's never going to be enough in this society. Just stumbled across this, and I want to say I appreciate seeing this level of honesty. I'm 26 too. 21 right now, and I've been feeling really, really stuck. Shit. I'm 26 as well. I work part-time at retail. And I'm trying to save 10K as a stepping stone. Had a failed military career. Okay. Am 40 in California. Life sucks. Just being in your 20s sucks. This dude enlisted at 17, did 4 years, got out, decided to trade school instead of college. So far, that sounded good. 9 months wasted and 21K down the trash. Not only did they not teach me shit, they lied to me, telling me they would help me look for work since the trade I chose, electrician, is hard to get in without connections or people knowing you. Oof. 7 months have passed and I'm still unemployed. I then downloaded Indeed, LinkedIn, and applied to a couple unemployment centers. I only got 2 jobs, one for networking for $20 an hour for 2 weeks, and one for construction for $16 an hour for 12 weeks. I'm at the point of re-enlisting. I don't want to work at a fast food place, but if I gotta do it, man, shit. I'd go back to the military. Fuck that. Love the honest video. Everyone's muddling along. There's a government shutdown though, right? So like they're not getting paid right now. Fuck. I moved out at 26 at the beginning of this year. Now I'm 27. This has been the worst and best year of my life. I experienced so much in these past 5 months. Okay. 28 years old with a bachelor's degree in biology. Dude, biology majors were fucking cooked even 10 years ago. And still unable to find jobs in California due to limited work experience. So I decided to enlist in the Air Force. Okay, Air Force is a cushy job for a guy holding a 4-year degree. He's going to get paid. He'll go in there on some officer program. Don't trip, potato chip. You got this. Look at this one, dude. 32-year-old loser. Shelby, unemployed, single, living with my parents. Should we watch it? Yes or no? Tell me. Yes in the chats or no? I'll let the chat decide. We haven't seen any of that. These are blind. Or does the chat not want to hear some woman complaining? Yes or no? No. Oh, everybody wants to hear her. All right. Why not? Let's see what Shelby's doing. She's 32 and
Hello there,
unemployed.
everybody. My name is Shelby.
God's sword $10. Bro, I'm 27 as a local trucker. I don't make shit. Everybody lied to me. Making $28 an hour. I have to work 70 hours a week just to make ends meet.
Fuck. Oh, shit. Bro. He said it so weird. Everybody lied to me. Fuck, dude. Not you, but the bot reading the message. That sucks. Yeah, and then your job got taken by one of those like Indian truckers too, and they can't read signs and they're still getting hired somehow in California. We live in such an insane timeline. Our government doesn't work. All the regulators are in bed with the exact industries they're supposed to regulate. There is absolutely nothing we can do because whoever we vote in is a corrupt piece of shit. They take hundreds of millions of dollars from super PACs, from fucking billionaires, from other special interests. Voting literally doesn't matter. The only way we're turning this around, let's talk about this voting shit for a second. Okay, hold on. The idea was this, you guys. We were supposed to vote Trump in, and what was supposed to happen was that he's going to be the dude to save us all from all these issues that we have. And what ended up happening was we realized that the swamp is far deeper. The system is far more corrupt and broken than we ever thought possible. So what we're starting to realize is it's not that voting for one man is going to save us. Voting for one man does nothing. One person, for the president, simply cannot do it. What we actually need to do is that we need to become engaged civically. We need to actually ourselves run at the local, state, and federal level. You're not going to change this with one man. Trump makes it in there and he is inundated with the swamp. He becomes the swamp. He takes advantage of the swamp, or the swamp takes advantage of him. No matter how much he tries to pull, change, cut, there is always something happening. That you got rogue judges. You have deputies under him, or God knows whoever else, department heads that he cannot fire. Well, now he can, but before he couldn't fire them. The Supreme Court just ruled that he could. So department heads that you can't fire, with the department heads team and their staff under them, overseeing the bullshit, all the slush funds, all of these programs. So what does that tell us? That even if you get a guy into office that is promising and willing and trying to institute the policy, not much changes overall. What we're starting to realize is that the only way forward to affect change is that every one of us watching, every other American that wants to put America first, you have to run for your local office. I mean, down to like the city level, down to the town level that you live in. From the little town in the neighborhood that you live in, you got to run there. Okay? You have to we got super shot. You have to run for state, and you have to run for the city. You got to try to be the mayor, try to run at the governor level, try to run at the federal level, Senate, Congress, House, all that stuff. We have no choice. The only way to fix this system is to remove the rot seat by seat, chair by chair. That's it. That's really it. There's no fast solution. Everybody would have loved that. Hey, we voted one guy, this one man, he changes everything. Cool, that's our guy. We found out that it's worse, and that the real solution is a much longer, arduous process of real American first citizens running for multi-level offices, down from local to state to federal. That's the only way you change this. All of you in here, everybody that's sick and tired of the administration, everybody that wanted America first, and there's a video where he was talking about how we're giving Israel all the weapons. He's getting pats on the back. He's currently in Israel right now, celebrating a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, when their fucking entire, like, Palestine looks like it looks like some dystopian shit. It's all rubble. They leveled every single building. We gave them the weapons. We shielded them internationally. Right? All the resolutions internationally. Netanyahu is wanted as a war criminal. Multiple countries will arrest him. He avoids going there. And then Trump literally said, he's not such a bad guy, dude. He should get a pardon. Trump said that Netanyahu should get a pardon, that he's a great war president. Holy shit. Oh, yeah, and then there's the base in Utah for Qatar, whatever the fuck you want to say. So how much did Qatar pay the administration to build a base on American soil? That's weird. Is that America first? Does any of this sound America first? So he's in Israel. He's getting his praise. Kessoneh is getting a standing ovation, applause over there. Everybody's waving American flags, Israeli flags, and you're getting what exactly? It's insane. And he wants a Nobel Peace Prize for stopping the war which went long enough that you could call an ethnic cleansing a genocide, and that you stopped it after they already bombed another Middle East nation, not Iran, but another Middle East nation, while they were doing some meeting for Hamas leadership, fucking bombed them. And then there's like, now it's enough. No. And already was trying to plan settlers to take parts of, the land that they just literally scorched earth with precision-guided warheads from the United States. You deserve a peace prize for this? Am I the only one that's wondering, like, what the fuck are we doing? What is, you want a peace prize for a genocide? Makes zero
The
fucking sense.
Professor of Junk and Treasures $20. I've been paying attention to what's been happening and what's being said. I'm so glad I shorted the market when I did. I
Oh, good
didn't have
shit,
as
bro.
much money to use, but I did well.
Good shit, bro. Happy you made it out. Good. May you have many more blessings in the market like that. Phew. And may you find financial freedom. I'm praying for all of you guys, hopefully. I pray, dude.
IVENT $4.99. I'm not gonna lie, Bow, the working class is in check right now, and I don't think we caught on to the board fast enough.
Yeah, we definitely got the short end of the stick. It's going to get worse, you guys. And we're not ready for the kind of pain. AI is not stopping. As much as Bernie wants the robots to get taxed, this shit, the train ain't slowing down. The robots are coming, whether he wants them or not. Let's see. Let's see what this lady's got to say. Did she get replaced by robots?
And I guess this is going to be kind of like my video diary thing, where I talk about what I'm going through in my life and all about what I am trying to get done and where I am in my life. And right now, I've just turned 32. And basically, I'm unemployed, okay? I know there's a whole job crisis out there, but like, if you had asked me where I would be at 32 when I was 17, I would have said I would have had a house and 2 kids by now, but not even close to that. I'm basically living at home with my mom.
Damn.
And in terms of relationships, I've never even had a boyfriend. I did hook up with a guy at one point just to like say that I did it. We'll go into that later. That's a whole different story.
Wow.
But I've never had a real relationship, and basically I'm unemployed. I'm not in any type of education, and I really don't have any job prospects. Now, you may be wondering how that happened. So when I was 18,
Of course, chat saying I can save her, I can relate. Of course. Of
I was
course.
diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called inflammatory bowel disease. And the type of inflammatory bowel
IBS.
disease that I have is called ulcerative colitis. And that resulted in multiple surgeries and multiple complications, which basically means that I get sick probably 6 to 8 weeks out of the year. Even now, there's still just times when I'm unable to work, and most jobs don't offer accommodations for that level of sick leave, especially the jobs that I'm going for, which is retail and fast food. It's just really inconvenient for any company. They're running a business, and if you have multiple absences for whatever reason, normally you only get like 2 weeks of sick leave a year. And the primary reason I keep losing jobs at this point is because of my illnesses. And in addition to that, I have severe ADHD. Now, some of you may be like, oh, everybody has ADHD. Like, everybody has ADHD, Shelby. But mine is really bad. And I've tried everything in the book, from exercising, doing different kinds of diets, taking every supplement known to man, doing EMDR, doing neurofeedback. I've done a lot of like things outside of taking stimulants to treat my ADHD, and nothing has worked.
Isaac
got a lot of problems.
$5. I wish I had that success. I bought $3,000 Doge back in 2020 for 1/5 of a penny. Had I held and sold in 2021, I would have walked away with over $800,000.
Damn. Ouch. Ouch. That 800K could have bought you a house. You'd have been a free bird. House plus car paid off. Oof. Paper hands. Paper hands, bro.
And I might even have a bit of the tism as well. I'm not really sure. As you can see, I can't even sit still just doing this. Like, I'm always moving and stuff like that. To be honest with you, I really don't know what to chalk up my lack of employment to, but just know that it's not for lack of trying. So over the last 10 years, since about the age of 22, when I first started trying to look for jobs, I've had probably 2 to 3 jobs per year since then. And some of you may ask, like, why don't you go through a state disability agency? Well, I actually did do that. And I ended up losing that job as well due to mental health problems. or so they said, but that's a whole different story. We'll get into that at a later date. I'll do a whole different video about why this agency really screwed me over, honestly, but we'll see about that. So I did end up holding a job for a year at that disability agency, but then due to COVID, which was literally due to the Rona, it was over in like, I mean, I know that was 5 years ago, right? So I tried to get.
Someone said dog knot for her. Feminism-tism. Actually, she seems pretty down to earth and is just literally just floating in the ether like everybody else, struggling out of their minds.
Get another job outside of it. And then I went back to the agency after that didn't work. And then I ended up losing the agency job from the disability agency because I do have a state identified disability. Unfortunately, it's because I'm technically able-bodied enough to work, just not mentally capable enough to work. I'm in that weird position where it's like they think that I'm just not trying, and they think that I just don't want to. They basically think that on paper I'm just willfully unemployed, and that's just not true. I would like to be able to work. At this point, I'm just trying to figure out why I'm unable to maintain employment. A lot of times it's because I learn very slowly. My fluid intelligence is low. So what is fluid intelligence? Fluid intelligence is the ability to adapt to new information, and fluid intelligence is the ability to learn things on the fly and learn things spontaneously. And for me, that's very low. I have a hard time dealing with change in my environment. So I don't know if that's like the TISM or my ADHD, but I have like this mental rigidity about me that I think that is a bit. I've always had it, to be honest with you. Learning has always been a bit of a challenge. I didn't really struggle. Well, I want to say I got good grades in school, but it was at the expense of everyone's mental health, including mine and my parents. So in terms of school, I had to work my ass off to graduate, and I did end up graduating with honors, actually, from high school. And when I got to college, like a lot of women with undiagnosed ADHD, I ended up really struggling with that. I was not able to maintain a level of self-accountability. I'm going to get emotional, but it does suck to not be able to feel like you have the capacity to do something but not be able to do it. And unfortunately, I just, in combination with, like, I wasn't expecting to get emotional, but I really wanted to do well in university, but it just didn't work out. And I also ended up getting really sick, so I ended up having to drop out not just once, but 3 times. So I tried it 3 times at multiple different schools, and to no avail. And it just sucks to be at a place in your life where, by all of the external standards, you're basically a failure. Now, I don't want to say that it's never going to change, because anything can change. But at this point, I really don't have any prospects outside of, like, just, I don't know what. I do art, which I'm going to post here, I guess, you guys. I'll post my art and see how that goes. But in all honesty, it really does suck to be 32, kind of have ADHD, a little bit of the TISM, have inflammatory bowel disease, and basically be unable to work despite my best efforts. And despite going through government agencies, Ticket to Work, vocational rehabilitation, all that stuff, which I've done, and it didn't really help. So I don't know if it's like a character defect in me, but I really do want to be employed. I want to make money, obviously, and pay my bills. At this point, I really only need like $1,200 a month to cover everything, because I don't have rent. And my parents are still helping me with a lot of my bills. I'm on my family phone plan still. My mom basically pays for everything, so I hate that for me. I do hate the fact that I have to depend on my parents. I'm glad that that's an option for me, to depend on my mom, but it does suck.
Bro, that's rough.
God's saw $10. When it comes to intelligence, I relate to her 'cause I'm a dumb dude. Which is why I never went into business, not 'cause I'm lazy, but I literally can't get any ideas. When dumb life is just so much hard.
What the fuck, bro? Bro, you pick a struggle. You can't say that. Just You're not dumb. You're just not motivated. Okay. Oh no, dude. Dumb dudes used to have jobs working the assembly lines. Now there's no jobs for people like that. He has a point. Fuck. What do you do then? Chat, is there an option for dumb dudes? What dumb jobs exist today? You're not allowed to be dumb today. You're not allowed to be average today as a man. That's crazy. Someone fucking say unionized janitor. Oh no. Yeah, we really did do away with being able to make it by just having a normal average job. Not everybody has the ability to do, extraordinary shit. And we live in I don't know, society got retooled in such an insane way and about to be in a very massive way revolutionary. In fact, when you consider AI, that even if you do have above average skill, that skill is now moot with the advent of AI. You've become redundant. Your higher skill, your 4-year college degree, no longer holds value because an AI can do what it is that you do now. So not only is it hard to be dumb, but it's going to be hard to be 100K in debt going to a college for a job that no longer exists. What do all these people do now, guys? These are tens of millions of jobs. Yeah, the dark factories are coming. That's very true. We're in a world of hurt. And that's putting it lightly. I don't really know, or I don't think politicians really know what's coming down the pipeline. They're so boomery. They really have no idea what these tech bros are building with all this AI shit. Some of the CEOs have been screaming on the top of the rooftops about what's about to happen. The boomer politicians, completely clueless. They're just, fuck you, I got mine. I'm insider trading. My name is Nancy Pelosi. I make all the best stock trades in the world. What are you talking about? AI is coming. Did you just see my latest 20% profit? Oh, you want to know how I did that? It's called female intuition. Yeah, totally.
To still basically be in a child's place at 32. And
God.
there's a lot of shame that goes into that. Like my day, I try to keep a regular schedule, but honestly my day doesn't really start until like noon. I woke up today at like 5 o'clock, but then I fell back asleep at 10. So I'm trying to like get up early. Maybe 5 is too ambitious, honestly. Maybe I should just try for like 8 o'clock or something like that. I do have a regular schedule when it comes to meditating, reading, walking, and I'm about to start going to the gym as well.
That's great.
I've never really done a structured workout plan. I know I did mention that I've done exercises and stuff, but I really want to take this to the next level. So I do have a bit of money from something. I don't want to go into why, but I want.
Oh, I know. She was the one who wrote the bull maxing book. That's right. She used the tism to her advantage.
I wanted to use it to invest into my health. And part of that is going to be me going to the gym and probably going to a powerlifting gym. And this is going to be a multi-$1,000 investment, right?
Jesus Christ, bro. We're broke. We need money. We need a job, not powerlifting dreams at 32-year-olds. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Shelby. It's a shame that you got to deal with all that stuff, but
Hi.
I wouldn't invest in thousands of dollars for powerlifting. Jeez Louise. Okay. Do you want to do this? 10 brutal truths about women or the burn dog? There's 2 Americas. He's probably talking about the rich and the poor. 2 Americas. Tell me, burn dog or blonde? Pick. I'll let the chat do it. We'll do one more and then we're calling. I can't do any more of these. My head's gonna explode. Yeah, the burn dog.
I've eaten tea at $4.99. I'm actually hearing the point you made earlier, Bo, where girls in their 30s are way less cooked than gals around my age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, they want the blonde. Donald Duck. I vote blonde. Bernie's gonna be better though. He's smarter. Of course, duh.
Null point to $10. Now even getting a STEM degree is a gamble.
It
Those of
is.
us paying off student loan debt with high science degrees are screwed. We can't discharge student debt, but banks and too big to fail get bailouts.
Yep, yeah. Our economy's set up so that socialized losses privatize gains. Like little guys actively get fucked because companies are more important than people. And they wonder why no one wants to have kids and the society is fucking failing. And we have degeneracy everywhere. Yeah. Burn dog, feel the burn. All right, it's a mix. We're doing Bernie. I don't want to listen to some fucking blonde bimbo. No. The burn dog. Stop simping. Here, you can see what she looks like. Great, dude. Blonde, blue eyes. She's going to talk a bunch of dumb shit. Women don't actually like men. Women want to control, or women want control more than they love. Women are more narcissistic. Women crave to be chosen. Women use sex as a weapon. Wow. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Isaac $5. Hey Bo, I sent you a video about Shia LaBeouf's protest back in 2016 and 4chan played the greatest game of capture the flag with Shia lol.
Oh, yeah, I know the capture. Yeah. They found out exactly where he took a picture, right? Dude, the weaponized autism of the internet is undefeated. Never challenge them.
For joining me.
Robots.
I know that there is a lot that is going on, but for one moment, let's forget about Donald Trump, Jimmy Kimmel, the UN, Charlie Kirk, Gaza,
Robots.
government shutdown, the other crises that we face, and the news of the day. Let's spend a few minutes discussing what the corporately controlled media and the corporately controlled political system don't talk about very much, and frankly, do not want us to talk about. And that's the truth about what's going on in our country today. What we are witnessing right now, right before our eyes, is the rise of two very separate and distinct Americas. One for the billionaire class and one for everybody else. In one America, the richest people are becoming obscenely richer and have never, ever had it so good. That America is overflowing with unimaginable wealth, greed, and opulence that makes the Gilded Age seem very modest. And then there is a second America, an America where a majority of our people live, and they are trying to survive, paycheck to paycheck, and they are struggling to secure the very basic necessities of life, nothing fancy. We're talking about food, healthcare, housing, education, and other basic needs. The simple truth is that never before in our history have so few had so much wealth and power, while at the same time, so many Americans live in economic.
You know, what's funny is that the Democrats are like partially correct. Someone said he's right about the problem, but their answer is always more government. In the 50s and 60s, our top rate for taxes were what, guys? Do you remember? It was well over what we have it today. Wasn't it something like 70, 80? At least on the bare minimum, 60%. What was the top rate? If I remember reading something like 90% for the most riches. It was 70. Can someone confirm what the top rate tax rate was? Above 70. Or I think I remember up to 90. So, and that's when America was its most prosperous and equal. So what they're saying is actually correct. 91%. There you go. 91%. Somebody put it in. You guys, we have to tax rich people. It sounds very lib to say that. And we're not talking about rich people like, yeah, 90% marginal tax rate. We're not talking about like rich people like you make 100K, 200,000, 300. No. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. Billions of dollars. That shit needs to be taxed. If you're making billions of dollars, your effective tax rate should be 90%, like it used to be. There's no reason a person needs to have potentially a tax rate lower than most people and you're making billions of dollars. Do you understand that this wealth inequality, that most of the money that's being spent on your assets, what you're seeing today, housing prices, electricity, not just real estate, but commercial real estate, everything that you possibly. Rich people need to park their money somewhere because it loses value over time. So assets is the only way you can protect your wealth. So what happens when you have a bunch of rich people, and we're talking uber wealthy Americans with nothing but cash to deploy? It doesn't sit in the bank. They must buy assets. They must start taking apart public service. They'll start to buy failing towns. They'll buy a bunch of shit like your electrical grid. Because they're already doing that right now. They're already BlackRock is bidding, I believe, on the electrical grid because they see that they're going to make a ton of money with all these AI data centers that we have building. They know it's going to be a boon for the electrical grid. And then gold is way up. Yeah, gold is way up. Silver's way up. Where do you park your money when the dollar is being debased? When inflation eats up your wealth? You have to park it in assets. This is what they're doing. Rich people are deploying cash and swallowing up assets and public assets, like from your local cities and all that shit too, from the state, wherever. This is what you're seeing because our effective tax rate is fucking garbage. What rich people will tell you and what the Republicans will tell you is that, no, I worked hard. We worked hard for this money. Rich people shouldn't pay any more tax. If rich people pay more taxes, they will leave. They won't leave. The market's here in America. All the consumption is here in America. All the assets are here in America. They won't leave. Is it hard to tax them? Yeah, it is. It's not easy. But the more we have the more wealth inequality increases, the worse our economy is off. Do you not see? That money concentrates into the top hands. That trickle-down economic bullshit didn't work. You're being pissed on. Yeah, you're being turned into slaves. So yes, in a weird way, the burn dog and the Democrats, when they say stupid shit like eat the rich and they make that into a slogan for their side, it is partially true. You can't even call this capitalism. This is oligarchy. You can't call this isn't capitalism. The people on the right are like, you're a fucking communist. They're not real capitalists. There is no capitalism in America when you bail out banks, when you bail out corporations and use public money to bail them out. And then you don't even arrest the CEOs. They give themselves bonuses. And the one guy that got arrested was a patsy that was like a mid-level manager. You think you're living in a capitalist system? This sounds like capitalism to you? Bank bailouts? Dude, we haven't lived in a capitalist system since the Fed got created. We live in a debt-based economy, oligarchy controlled by special interests who print money out of thin air. That's why they got rid of the gold standard. Hello? I like capitalism. Yeah, your tax money is paying to bail out fucking banks and CEOs who literally who created the subprime fucking mess that we're in right now with the auto market, the subprime housing that we were dealing with in 08, 09. Nobody went to jail for that. Nobody. And then do you know who Trump tapped to help the economy recover from COVID? You want to know? Who here knows who Trump tapped to help with COVID recovery? Come on. It was good old Larry Fink from BlackRock, the very man who created the subprime mess in housing in the first place. He invented the subprime. He invented those AAA assets. People don't even know that. Larry Fink was the one who created that shit. Those AAA backed assets, those instruments, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Good old Finkmeister. And he was the one that was tasked with recovering the United States economy. It's all one big club. You're not invited.
Economic desperation. Some examples. In the first America, one man, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, worth over $480 billion, owns more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households. Yeah, you heard that right. One man owns more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households.
That's fucking obscene, dude.
After spending $290 million to put Trump back into the White House,
That's
Musk has
crazy.
become over $180 billion richer since election day. That's a pretty good return.
He's going to
on
be the
his
first
investment.
trillionaire.
But that's apparently not good enough for Mr. Musk. In order to keep him motivated as CEO, Tesla's board proposed giving him a $1 trillion pay package.
That's
if
so
he
fucking
meets
crazy.
certain goals. A
Dude, what the fuck are we doing? $1 trillion pay package? Oh my lord, for one guy. $1 trillion. He's going to be the first trillionaire in world history. At least officially. I mean, if you can count something like, the Saudi royal family or Putin, let's just say, if he owns everything, he'll be the first trillionaire officially. Oh man, we're fucking cooked, dude. We are entering a new age of oligarchy. This system's not going to survive. Wow.
$1 trillion. That's Musk. Jeff Bezos, the fourth wealthiest man in the world, has a fortune of $240 billion. He recently sailed to Venice on his $500 million yacht
Gangster.
for his $55 million wedding,
Baller.
where he gave his wife a $5 million ring.
He's fucking
Mark
the creator of
Zuckerberg,
Amazon.
the third wealthiest man in the world, is worth $262 billion. He has
Jesus.
spent $110 million to buy 11 homes in
Also, Zuck did some gangster shit too. I don't know if Bernie's going to talk about it, but he took 2 yachts. One of them is his like mothership. And then he took a big yacht and a small yacht. I think he went all the way. He sailed to Norway. Then the little yacht has a helicopter. So then he took the helicopter to get dropped off on the top of a mountain in the fjord somewhere so he can ski down and then get back on his fucking boat where he's just like working on in his mobile fucking command center cruise ship, and then sailed back, I guess, to the United States or wherever else he fucking wanted to do. That's crazy. Imagine how gangster that is. Bro, I'm not hiking up the fucking frozen fucking mountain in the fjords in Norway. And your band, actually, this is what made it so gangster. His ships were too big, and because of like green policies, whatever, saving the environment, Norway wouldn't allow him to dock. So the dude literally just parks right outside where he's allowed to. Right? It's like parking your car off to the side of the road. You're not allowed to go into the parking. And he goes, let me fly in there real quick then. Ski, fly back out. Later, bitch. Ha! They don't play by the same rules. These people are on another level. And they're building fucking bunkers, dude. Underground fortresses. Why? Why are all the billionaires building underground bunkers? That's fucking weird. Since when are they all doomsday prepping?
Palo Alto, California, to create his own private compound, and another
See?
$270 million for a 1,500-acre estate on an island in Hawaii with a 5,000-foot underground bunker and
Damn.
3 yachts worth over $530 million. Larry Ellison, the second wealthiest man in the world, worth $370 billion, recently became $100 billion richer in a single day.
That's fucking
He owns
crazy.
a private island in Hawaii and a fleet of jets. He recently acquired Paramount, which owns CBS.
Dude, I'm over here like, wow, I made 70 grand trading in a day. This dude made $100 billion in 24 hours. There's so many levels to this shit. It's crazy.
And is now working to purchase CNN and TikTok.
Wow.
Together, these 4 men alone are worth more than $1.3 trillion. But it is not just them. The top 1% now owns more wealth than the bottom 90%, 93%. The 1% live in a world completely removed from the world of ordinary Americans. They haven't a clue as to what ordinary Americans experience. They don't ride overcrowded subways to get to work or sit in traffic jams to get home. They get around on private jets and helicopters. Not much of a housing crisis for them. They live in mansions all over the world, send their kids to the most elite private schools, and vacation on their own islands. And for
This is
fun,
insane.
some of them spend millions flying off into space on their own rocket ships. That's one America. But here is the other America, where the vast
here we go.
majority of our people live. For them, the economy is not just broken, it is in many respects collapsing. In this America, despite a massive increase in worker productivity, real weekly wages for the average American worker are lower today than they were more than 52 years ago.
That's true.
In this America, people are unable to afford a doctor's visit if
That's true.
they're lucky enough to find a doctor. They are paying over half of their limited incomes on rent or a mortgage and are unable to afford the outrageously high cost of childcare or the ability to send their kids to college. In this America,
Yeah, when you adjust for inflation and purchasing power, cost of living, all that stuff, somebody posted up. I don't know if it's exactly that number, but they posted $66 an hour. I do know that the number is really fucking high compared to, these jobs that are posting their $20 an hour, and that you should be happy. Yeah. When you compare the wages back then, that's why when boomers say pick yourself up by your bootstraps, it's so fucking stupid. When you adjust for inflation, like a boomer never does that, dude. Ever. It's like talking about racial statistics with certain people and you tell them about per capita and they're like, per capita, that's fucking bullshit, because their brains, they can't understand. Telling a boomer about fucking inflation, cost of living, and adjusted for, their brains break. Adjusted. I made fucking $7 an hour back on my factory job. Motherfucker. Dude. Boomers screwed us. Boomers absolutely fucked this country. Worst generation to ever live. Seriously. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. The most selfish, delusional, spoiled generation ever. You got handed a golden goose and you turned it into dog shit for everybody. You couldn't even maintain the wealth you were given by the greatest generation to ever live. You got handed a fucking gold spoon on a silver platter. You couldn't fucking maintain. Now we're all eating out of fucking our own hand. We don't even got the silverware no more. It got sold. You sold it, you pawned it off so that you could hoard all the wealth, and now you're going to die with your wealth. It won't even go to the children. It doesn't even go to anybody. It'll go to all these rich mega corporations. All the private equity is going to buy the houses, all these private living where they're going to drain the retirement accounts and earn every penny for all this late term care for all these fucking boomers. The money is not going into the hands of the younger generations. There are services that are designed to suck up all the massive boomer wealth. And on top of that shit happening too, the boomers were, again, baby boomers. So there was a massive economic growth, a spike because the population spiked. There's a two-pronged issue here. We're on the cusp of population collapse. 25% or more of Gen Z was aborted. Nobody's having kids. Nobody's getting married. You cannot out economics. You can't outgrow demographics like that. We are fucked. Our economy will contract. Why do you think there's such a race to get this AI up and off the ground? These people are trying to secure their futures in a post-population collapse scenario for America. Yeah, somebody said 80 million Americans were aborted. Fuck, dude, that's a crazy number. 80 million Americans were aborted? What's the percentage of millennials that got aborted? Does anybody know? I want to look this up. Oh, it says, oh my God, it's way worse than I thought. A third of all Gen Z were aborted. Wow. Millions missing, millennials and Gen Z. 24.5 million of millennials were aborted. Wow. That's crazy. That's the craziest mass murder in human history. That's wild. Holy shit, dude. Oh my God, and it's worse. Half of all Gen Z pregnancies now end in abortion. Wow, not only did a third of them get aborted, but they're now aborting at a 50% rate. Holy crap. That's crazy, dude. Half of people are being murdered. Whoa. That's crazy. Holy shit, dude. So that means Gen Alpha is going to be like the first generation that has something like 75%. Not only will they not have kids almost at all, but the ones that are having kids are going to abort at a 75% probably rate. Holy fuck. That's crazy. It says in 2012, 30% of viable pregnancies for this 15 to 24-year-old cohort ended in abortion. There's been a notable increase, and this is not even taking in the COVID. Dude, the COVID has absolutely cooked the eggs of women. They're becoming sterile. Their egg quality is down the drain. They're becoming more sterile, and the chances of their pregnancy, the chances of them becoming pregnant is much harder, even at like 30 years old. They're having difficulty getting pregnant at 25, 30, like as if they were 40 years old. So it says that pregnancies, so 34% of viable pregnancies for 15. Okay, and it says there's been a notable increase year-on-year trend. And by 2021, this abortion or this proportion had risen to 45%. Wow. We're aborting half of people born from Gen Z. Holy shit. What are they going to call? What's the generation after Gen Alpha? The ghost generation? The generation of the few? The last generation? Is that what they're going to be called? Generation Beta? Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. The jab generation. Generation cooked. Dude, it's going to be the ghost generation. They're not going to exist. It's not even a laughing matter. I don't even know why the fuck I'm laughing at that. We have a 50% abortion rate. What the fuck is wrong with our society? Wow, boomers, and look at this headline here that I'm reading. It says, boomers, abortion push wiped out 28% of Gen Z. Dude, boomers are literally the fucking scum of earth after reading this one. The boomers' abortion push wiped out 28% of Gen Z. Boomers did that.
America. The price of vegetables, fruit, and other healthy foods is beyond the budget for many. For most Americans, the system is not just broken. It is collapsing, and it is increasingly resembling life in the third world. Everyone needs health care. It's not a radical idea. Yet today, over 85 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured, a number that will rise by at least 15 million because of Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill and massive cuts to Medicaid and the ACA.
That shit's crazy.
Ken Rose $5. Historically, overtaxing the ultra-rich has never worked.
Yeah, it can if the state's willing to enforce it, but we don't have a state that will, so they'll skirt the laws. Yeah, you literally could. It's actually not that difficult with if there was the political will to do it. We don't have that current political will. That's the problem.
One needs housing. Yet today, nearly 800,000 Americans are homeless, and over 20 million households pay more than 50% of their limited incomes on rent or a mortgage. Now, how do you have any money left over for anything if you're spending 50% of your income for housing? Since the year 2000, average rents have more than doubled, and the median price of a home today has soared to more than $435,000. Everyone needs a decent education. You cannot survive in this world today without a good education. Yet today, our child care system is broken and widely expensive. Many of our public schools are dilapidated with teachers underpaid and underappreciated. And American students are falling behind in math, science, and reading compared to their international peers. College education is unaffordable for millions, and vocational schools are failing to train the workers we desperately need. Everyone wants a secure retirement. Yet nearly half of older workers have no retirement savings and no idea as to how they will ever retire with any shred of dignity or respect. Meanwhile, 22% of seniors are trying to survive on an income of less than $15,000 a year. Enough is enough. It's absolutely imperative that we understand the reality of what is going on today and the need to bring about the fundamental changes that are required to create a government and an economy that work for all and not just the few. America is not supposed to be a nation run by a handful of unbelievably wealthy oligarchs, while at the same time a majority of our people struggle to afford the very basic necessities of life. That's not what America is supposed to be about. So let us stand together, let us go forward, and let us create.
Yeah, but how the fuck are you going to stop the oligarchs? They captured the system. They buy out politicians. They own the fucking country, basically. When they passed Citizens United and they said money is speech, this is the last thread, the end of America. Money is speech. Money is free speech. That's the Supreme Court ruled. It was done. We got cooked. That was it, boys. Money is speech in America. We have to repeal Citizens United. We're not getting this country back unless we repeal that. If you don't get money out of politics, we're fucking done. We're done. You see it right here. Our politicians are bought. Who donated the most to Trump? Israel. Who does Trump legislate for the most? Who is Trump helping out the most? Israel. That's money. That's the money talking. Those are the favors owed. That's the system we have. People are like, oh, left and right. It's like, no, bro. It's who has the most money. Left or right is just a fucking, it's just a concept of irrelevance for wealthy people. If the guy on the left wins, he's going to be bought and paid for. If the one on the right wins, bought and paid for. It doesn't matter. We'll pay for both. We'll buy both, whoever you pick. Actually, better yet, we'll give you the choices. You could pick from these two. That's great. Cool story. Bet on these two horses. We know one of them is going to win. Yeah. Someone said Citizens United will be the death of this guy. Citizens United is the death. It is the death. This is America in her death throes from fucking politics and money and corruption and special interest. If we don't fucking wind this back, dude, it's a wrap. This shit's wild. Yeah, Citizens United was probably one of the worst fucking decisions in America's entire history. It's on the level of getting off the gold standard. Fucking wrecked us. Don't worry, bro. What can you do? Anyways, boys, appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're gonna have to call it. Thank you to everybody that's been buying hats, shirts. If you haven't already, get you some.
Create.
Links are in the description below. Right here, check these out. We got the snapback and the flexi fit, depending on how big your fucking noggin is. The only way we fix things, people keep asking, is you yourself have to get into politics. Every one of us, I'm not even joking, you have to actually get involved on the local level, state, and Fed level. There has to be a wave of us coming in while the wave of boomers are coming out. There's no other way. There is not going to be a one guy that's going to come in and save. There isn't. The machine's too big. The rot is too deep. And you can only win by consensus. And that is kicking out all these APAC motherfuckers in Congress, in the House, everywhere, that they got little agents watching them, all that shit, whatever it is, all the special interests. If we don't get some clean, mean machines from the heart of America in there that don't take answers from nobody else, then it's for real a lost cause. Because right now it's the puppets running the show. And the strings are being pulled by the ones with the most money. That's the system. Anyways, yeah, we got legalized bribes. Thank you for everybody. Get your Hoflation mugs if you haven't. Hoflation shirts. We need to make more shit. I don't even know what else to make. I need to make a bull maxing shirt too. That'd be funny. And as usual, everybody, we'll see you on the next one. Take care.